The 13th film in the Madea Cinematic Universe is A Madea Homecoming. And folks, we've reached the end of the line. This is the final Madea movie to be released at the time of this review. And even though they were filmed 11 months ago, we still have no release date for Madea's Destination Wedding or Joe's College Road Trip. Tyler Perry must have some insane CGI in store, cause even Marvel movies are edited faster than this. I don't know what the holdup is. And now that Tyler Perry Studios has a family funeral of their own to deal with, I doubt we're gonna get updated anytime soon. But enough about the ghosts of Madea future. Today we're busting a ghost of Madea present. And boy is this one spooky. I watched A Madea Homecoming when it came out in 2022, and I hated it so much I gave it a half-star review on Letterboxd. And now, even with the full context of the greater Madea franchise, my opinion has barely improved. Tyler Perry originally intended A Madea Family Funeral to be the franchise finale, and that would have been a great high note to end it on. But then Netflix came knocking and offered our favorite black billionaire another $20 million. And he did not hesitate to put on the dress. Some might say it requires a superhuman level of greed to have $1 billion and still want more. But I don't see those people signing deals with Netflix. Artistic integrity is for what I like to call poor people. Anyway, this movie is slop and I hated sitting through it. So, for the lucky number 13th time, let's dive in. Starting with some, and I do mean some, Madea hijinks. The bad news is this movie has no Heathrow. The good news is everyone's favorite non-Tyler Perry character is back. That's right, it's Leroy Brown. And he's ready to cook up some ribs. But uh-oh, he's pouring 3 gallons of lighter fluid on the grill. So naturally, he blows his black ass up and shrieks in horrific agony as he burns to death.
What I tell you? He on fire. Hey, boy, hey!
Unfortunately, Leroy hijinks doesn't count as Madea hijinks. But thankfully, both Joe and Madea get involved, with Madea using the garden hose to extinguish a tree instead of her dying friend. And Joe was the one who gave Leroy the matches in the first place. Plus, he saves his life by forcing him to stop, drop, and roll. This was an excellent stunt to open the movie with, and Madea even rings in the Netflix era by dropping a hard R.
This motherfucker is actually on fire. He on fire.
As you can probably guess, this is a classic case of peaking early, and the entire rest of the movie is a lethargic slog, other than when Leroy eats too many edibles and jumps off a roof.
Ah, Cora!
Oh, hell, wow.
After dedicating an entire scene of Madea Family Funeral to a debate about police brutality, you would expect further social commentary in Madea's first post-George Floyd movie. And we get some, but where the previous movie utilized the inch-wide, mile-deep approach, this movie is the inch-deep, mile-wide inverse. What I mean by that is, social commentary about Black Lives Matter and police brutality is sprinkled throughout the film, but it's always in the service of a brief joke rather than the focus of a scene. For example, 7 minutes into the film, a new debate begins. Remember those fiery but mostly peaceful protests in the wake of George Floyd? Well, Madea has a burning hot take.
What kind of sense it make to burn up your own damn neighborhood because you upset about something?
But Joe disagrees, saying a society that allows the police to murder a brother in the street deserves to be burned down.
We don't need that damn store. We need to burn everything in the neighborhood down. Burn it all down. What the hell kind of sense it make what these police are doing to black people? Burn it all down.
Oh, I'm finna punch him.
And I'm thinking, hell yeah, this movie is gonna continue the conversation started in the last movie. But no, they drop it immediately. Madea is hosting a family reunion to celebrate the graduation of her closeted gay nephew, and one of the visiting family members is a female police officer. And again, Joe speaks about his hatred of the police and tells his niece to take off the uniform. But it is soon revealed his hatred isn't motivated by social injustice, but rather he's afraid his weed dealer won't show up if a police cruiser is parked outside. And then later, Joe decks himself out with a Black Lives Matter costume when they go to Red Lobster. But he's proven to be a fraud when Madea sets off his car alarm and he starts begging for the police to help him. So the film seemingly has the attitude that Madea is in the right and that Joe is a fool. The film also sprinkles in commentary about Medea's neighborhood being gentrified. And now it's much nicer to look at, it's safer to live in, and they even built a brand new playground and basketball complex right across the street from Medea's house. And Medea's attitude towards gentrification is that it made the neighborhood too gentle. And as an old school thug, she likes the neighborhood being rough.
Gentrified?
I said, that's what I said, gentle. They want to make it gentle. It used to be rough as hell. That's why I go outside sometimes to shoot up in the air, because I don't want nobody else moving here trying to make it gentle. I like it rough like it used to be.
Got it.
Yeah, they come out here, raise the property taxes and everything, take over your damn house, put basketball courts in, change neighborhood, build pretty house all around. I ain't selling shit.
Gentrification.
Whatever it is, I ain't selling. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna hold on to what I done paid for.
I just wish Tyler Perry had the balls to incorporate his political messages into the plot of these movies. The best scene in Family Funeral was the police encounter. And if the entire film was about that, it would have been a much better movie. But instead, the plot was about adultery. This film could have embraced the themes of police and gentrification and made the plot about Madea trying to take back her neighborhood and drive out all the yuppie white people stinking up the place with their low crime rates and immaculate lawns. And in her efforts to create a black ethno-state, she could have some hijinksical encounters with comically evil cops like the guy from Family Funeral. And Madea could redeem herself from the KKK fiasco where she ran away like a coward by finally embracing her inner trickster spirit and combining it with her lifetime accumulation of gangster street smarts knowledge to defeat them in thrilling and hilarious ways. And it would be the greatest Madea movie ever made. Hashtag Justice for George. But instead, the plot was about, yep, you guessed it, adultery. The plot of this movie is Medea's gay black nephew has a secret gay black boyfriend, and the gay black boyfriend is secretly fucking the gay black nephew's straight black mom. You know what Madea movie did have the balls to actually incorporate politics into the plot? The Madea cartoon movie for children. And you know why? Because Tyler Perry didn't write it. Some white guy with a Jewish name did. So to repeat myself, I wish Tyler Perry had the balls that his children's cartoon movie did in terms of political hijinks. In terms of other Madea hijinks, we get further evaluation into Joe's incestual tendencies. You may recall Joe filling his eyes with round niece booty during Medea's family reunion, or more recently, Heathrow hitting on his own granddaughter. This film finally explains the rationality behind this forbidden lust.
My grandniece? What the hell is a grandniece? I'm from Alabama. After daughter, it don't damn matter. When you get to cousin, you good.
I'm not gonna say I doubt Joe's carnal fortitude, but it's probably for the best that his long-lost child was a man. Meanwhile, the main meat of Medea's hijinks is a flashback to 1955 when she was 20 years old, and she finds out her man cheated on her with an NAACP employee named Rosa Parks. So Madea storms into the NAACP office, tears the place apart, and then finds Rosa Parks on a bus. So she pops the bus tires and starts yelling at Rosa to get out of that damn bus seat. And also she's recording a selfie video on an iPhone. I guess Tyler Perry thought anachronism would have the kids shitting their pants with laughter. This scene and the grill scene are the film's two main sources of hijinks, and Madea was hardly involved in the fire fiasco to begin with. So in terms of Madea hijinks, I'm giving this one a disappointed 4 out of 10. Our Madea cast has been bisected. Heathrow and Brian are nowhere to be seen, even though once again the plot of the movie is an extended family get-together. But whatever. The Madea on display here is still slightly better than the Dark Ages. She's giving emotional speeches about taking chances with love, she's getting high as fuck, she's cracking jokes, she's trying to kill Rosa Parks. It's everything an audience wants to see performed adequately. And thankfully there was plenty of Joe mixed in to carry the flag of incest handed off by Heathrow. So in terms of Madea performance, I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10. The film's opening scene ignites Leroy Brown with a flaming explosion to bait the viewer into sitting through one of the most painfully dull and stretched out storylines in Madea history. The concept of my gay boyfriend is cheating on me with my own mother might sound exciting to watch in like a Jerry Springer sort of way, but the execution in this film bored me to tears. And the resolution is the gay guy being like,
I'm just glad you're both happy. Please marry my mom even though you've been deep inside my butthole.
This flimsy premise would have been a fine C-plot, but unfortunately, it's the film's main storyline. The real highlight of the movie is the character Mrs. Brown. Over in the United Kingdom, the people love to pay for a license to watch BBC on television with their entire families. And one of their most beloved programs is called Mrs. Brown's Boys. Some call Mrs. Brown Irish Madea because it's a guy in drag playing a stereotype of his mother. The character began on the stage but gained more popularity after a screen adaptation, and both characters are brown. But technically, the Mrs. Brown plays started a decade before the Madea plays. So it would be more accurate to say Madea is a black Mrs. Brown. Or I guess she's literally a brown Mrs. Brown. This Mrs. Brown character is the great aunt of the gay black guy's gay black boyfriend. So she hops across the pond and becomes a fish out of water. Or in this case, a foreign white person surrounded by southern blacks. And naturally, there are some racially charged misunderstandings.
Why do y'all look like you have your knickers in a bunch?
Joe, I heard it. What she say? What did you just damn say?
Maybe she done called her a bunch of niggas.
So shout out to Mrs. Brown and her various boys. I actually own the box set of this shit because my brother saw it on sale at a thrift store in Minneapolis. So stay tuned for the upcoming 8-hour video ranking every episode. Just as soon as I finish ranking all 140 episodes of Meet the Browns. Anyway, this movie was boring as fuck. The potential was baked in, but for some reason, Tyler Perry chose to focus on the most boring parts of the story and characters. I was miserable and extremely grateful that after this one, I'm all caught up on Madea and don't have to do this shit again for a long, long time. So based on that and so much more, in terms of overall movie quality, I'm giving this one a 3 out of 10. Giving it a final score of 12 out of 30, landing it in 8th place on our list. And folks, we've basically reached the end. Those 2 new Madea movies will probably come out in 2025. And now that I'm YouTube's #1 Madea expert, I should probably review the recently released Not Another Madea Movie parody movie. So stay tuned for those and let me know what you want to see next. Should I review Tyler Perry's non-Madea movies? Can your spirit handle a series about the independent black cinema available on Tubi? Let me know in the comments. And folks, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope you've enjoyed this series so far, and I love you, and I appreciate you. See you next time.